Hey again, everyone, and welcome once more to the official Get Me Off the Moon Echo Team podcast. I'm Skybane0, your host for today's episode, and joining me today is...
Hi, I'm Nathan Lindley. I'm another one of your admins.
Alright, and we also have a very special guest accompanying us today, introducing...
Mark MacDonald. I work at 8-4 Limited, and we're doing all of the community kickstarting, advising, general updating, hoo-has, what have yous on the Mighty No. 9 campaign.
Okay, so very glad to have you on, Mark. I know that a ton of our members at 100K, myself no less, have been absolutely psyched for Mighty No. 9 ever since it was announced at PAX Prime. I mean, I think it goes without saying that you guys have just shaken the gaming world so far.
Well, thanks, and I should say, straight up front here, I want to give a big thanks to you guys, to your site, and especially to your community, because any shakeup that we've been able to do, any success that we've had, anything that we've done is quite literally been completely thanks to you guys. I mean, we tried to plan this as best we could. We're trying to keep engaging with the community as much as we can, but it's been totally you guys getting the word out. Every time I'm checking the site, we're checking it every day.
Wow.
Several times a day. Yeah, but you guys
Thank you.
You guys are on top of stuff so much, always updating. You guys have stuff up before we're even able to have stuff up sometimes. So, and everybody's so supportive too in your guys' community in the 100K. Guys, it's been really cool. We had that puzzle over the weekend, and one of your members solved it, and
oh my god, I did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you here, Mark. I honestly didn't think anyone would be able to solve that for the weekend.
Take that, Mega Man Network. Neener.
Yeah, I started to think the same thing. For people who don't know, we took an early sketch of Mighty No. 3, the boss who were debuting this week, and kind of the rough Inafune version, chopped it up into I think it was 900 pieces.
I think it
really
was 390.
Yeah, and then we threw out all the just white ones, and it ended up with about 400 just really small pieces, and it's black and white. It's just a pencil sketch, so there's no colors to go off of. There's no puzzle piece weird shapes to know that, okay, this is a corner or anything like that. They were all perfect rectangles.
Does this pencil smudge match with that one?
Exactly, and I guess it did, because sure enough, what was it, less than 24 hours, I guess, after we started
pretty much.
Which was really, really cool to see. So that's just the kind of thing I'm talking about, though, super dedication and really good feedback, really positive stuff too, even when people have requests or things they want to see or things they don't agree with and stuff like that. That's been something that has been so cool about this campaign so far, not just in your guys' community, but also in the comments, in the Mega Man Network, everywhere. Comments on the actual individual updates and everything, YouTube's, everyone's been so positive and stuff like that. So that's been really cool to see as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy myself that people are taking it so positively.
Right.
That doesn't always... I mean, this is the internet, let's be honest.
But I feel like it's almost not the internet, I think we talked about this in the podcast. It's this is the internet, right? Where everyone is anonymous and people can say whatever they want, and yet everyone's being so nice and positive and great and supportive, and people are helping each other. I mean, there's a lot of information in the Kickstarter, and some of it is down in the fact, which is at the bottom of the page, and some of it, if you haven't done a Kickstarter before, which a lot of people who are backing Mighty No. 9 have not, a lot of it is stuff that you don't immediately get, and so that's been huge too, to have people actually helping other people. That's honestly one of the most satisfying things of the entire process, is seeing this community is so cool that they're actually just grassroots coming up and helping each other.
I think a big part of it is that as fans, we kind of had a lot to weather through as a fan base over the past couple years. Mm-hmm. So when we finally get this kind of good news, we just all kind of celebrate it together.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We really got to thank you guys for bringing this to us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool.
Okay, well, before we get too far into the Mighty No. 9 discussion, I'm going to ask you, Mark, have you ever played a little gem of a series called Mega Man Legends?
I have, actually. Pretty far back in the day, but yeah. So I'm not exactly a expert, you would call, but I am familiar.
Can you recall your initial thoughts of it?
You know, actually, I was very skeptical because I was I used to work in the video game media.
Oh,
and
wow.
I worked in the official U.S. PlayStation magazine.
Huh.
And then I worked in a magazine called the EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, after that. And I believe when Legends was coming out, I think I was at OPM, at the official PlayStation magazine. I definitely remember. I remember Trombone. There were a lot of big Trombone fans around a little later. Yeah, but I remember being really skeptical because I was thinking like, Mega Man in 3D, like, and you know, even kind of at that time, it was kind of like, is this, you know, as everything was transitioning over and people were kind of trying to figure out what that meant for some series, it was kind of like, I don't know, is this series need to go to 3D? Is this a good, you know, use of? Is it just trying to, you know, because you'd have some fighting games like Street Fighter then were like struggling with going into 3D, and it was there were some pretty poor PS2 3D Street Fighter games. And at that time, yeah, just a lot of traditionally 2D series were going into 3D, and it was kind of like, I don't know if this is right for this. Is it the right thing? But I wasn't on the review. I didn't play it a ton myself, but I do remember kind of getting the feeling you would just kind of being around like 30 or 40 guys that all they do is play games all the time. You did kind of get a feeling as whether something was legit or not. And it kind of sounded like it was legit. And then as the next games kept coming, and Trombone and stuff like that, and like people really being into those, and starting to see like the goods around and stuff like that, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, so maybe there is something there. It's not just trying to be what it was now in 3D, but is actually kind of becoming its own kind of new thing.
You wouldn't be alone with those thoughts. I mean, a lot of the most hardcore fans nowadays, back then, they probably were just as skeptical. They were like, no, Mega Man should be 2D, and he should get powers from enemies, and there was a big resistance to change. And then I really think that's part of the reason that it didn't do so well financially. Yeah. Like, a lot of the fan base was still pulling for the classic Mega Man style and didn't really give it a chance. But then once the years went on, people finally like got over it, they played it, became a cult classic, and was swiftly ignored.
Yeah, if you want to know one interesting guy who had that same impression, it was Gregaman. If you guys remember him from the Capcom Unity Devroom, he was the community liaison. I live about only 30 minutes from the Capcom USA head office in San Mateo, and I was attending a Capcom Unity event, and I had the chance to talk to him. I was asking him, what did he think of Legends when he first heard about it, and he was really skeptical about it. But when he actually got into the game, he just loved the atmosphere. It was just such an addicting atmosphere. So, you know, while it wasn't a lot like Mega Man, it was a great game.
Right.
It was drizzled in charm and grabbed you by the tear ducts.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
I think that's what, you know, the games that were successful did kind of... I mean, they had the characters, they traded off what made the earlier games popular, and I'm talking about just in general, the transition from 2D to 3D, but also they introduced something new, you know? They really took it in, like, a new direction, and I feel like that's what Legends ended up doing and how it became to kind of stand on its own right. You know, and that's been something really interesting to see with Mighty No. 9, too. A lot of people are like, gosh, well, you know, this is great to have sort of a spiritual successor to the old 2D side-scrolling games. Yeah. You know, maybe at some point and some date it would make sense to also revisit kind of the early 3D ones. But how many people have been saying that and stuff was kind of a surprise to me. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, a lot of people on the Facebook page have been wondering if there's going to be a Beck mythos coming on or something like that.
Right.
Okay, so why don't we jump into a bit of Mighty No. 9 discussion now? We do have a few questions for you, Mark, which we're hoping you'll be able to answer. Obviously, we're taking into perspective that you're not one of the game's developers, so we're kind of playing it safe here. But, okay, first question. I'm going to kind of pick and choose here because you have limited time here, Mark.
Sure.
Okay, but one of the aspects of Mighty No. 9's development is that each backer is given their own unique Mighty number. What's interesting about this idea is that it closely resembles a similar concept from Mega Man Legends 3's development, where each member of the Devroom was given their own unique Servbot number. Did you guys plan for this as a sort of a throwback to the Legends fans?
That's actually really hilarious. This is the first time I've heard about this. And
wow.
we did look a little at the Devroom stuff, in particular, like, what contests they had done, the female protagonist design contest and that sort of thing. So we did look at it kind of in general, but we didn't look, because we wanted to do our own thing, but at the same time we did want to, do enough research to cover our bases and not, make some big screw up that had been done before twice of any kind. But no, actually, and nobody brought it up the entire time in the process, and actually giving everyone, which is really like doubly amazing to me now. And actually,
it was meant to be.
I'm pretty sure that was our idea here at 8.4.
Oh my god!
And we had like the T-shirts and everything like that. So yeah, I actually did not know that, but that's kind of funny. I guess that kind of works out well.
Surprise homage.
Did they do anything, just to ask, with the server bot number? Was there any meaning to it, or was it just...
It's pretty much just to signify that you were a member of this project.
Okay,
I think you had to give it when you entered some of the contests, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, you had to put it in the contest entry so they could track you, I think.
Interesting way of doing that, okay. Well, yeah, so it sounds like they're even going to be using it in a similar way. I think with ours, it's going to be more cosmetic in terms of how it happens on the forums. I don't know if it's going to be used in the voting functionality of any kind, but the design on that is not finished yet, so it might be possible.
With any luck, your Mighty Number assignment system won't crash as often as the Surfbot system.
Oh my god, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
For your information, Mark, that was a really wonky system.
Yeah, I bet it was tough to do. I mean, I will say, being able to say with confidence that we would be able to assign people Mighty Numbers and stuff was something that we didn't have in the actual Kickstarter page until like the last minute, because even though we were working on it from the very start, we had to know basically all the logistics of how Kickstarter works, like how the spreadsheet would be, made, how quickly we would be able to do that, et cetera, and stuff like that. So we were pretty sure we would be able to do it from the start, but it wasn't until the end that we could say, okay, 100% confidence, this is how it's going to do it, and that sort of thing. So that was something that we were able to add right then, and I'm really glad we were able to.
Yeah.
It's something that me personally, I'm just really excited about.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we move on to our next question here? This one honestly has nothing to do with Mighty Number 9 in the least, but it's still something that we've all been dying for you to answer, and quite frankly, it's something very interesting.
Okay.
In the back of the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter, there is a certain reference to a game that we all know and love. I believe you guys were discussing the additional 2 Mighty Number bosses, which at the time were not finalized. But anyway, here's what it said.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I know. I know you do. Anyway, here's what it said. I quote, "Okay, we're just joking about the veiled threats of bosses you've never seen, who are bad guys you're out to destroy anyway. The real answer is we don't exactly know yet. Perhaps they would show up as DLC later. We have no current DLC plans for your information. Maybe they'd show up in the sequel, elsewhere in the game, in other games. Or maybe we would abandon them on a distant planet and they would fade into legend."
Yeah, I don't. Are you thinking that's a particular reference to something in particular? I don't see the parallels.
You said you weren't familiar with Legends all that much, but the ending of Legends 2, puts Mega Man is stuck on a space station / moon called Elysium, and he's just kind of stuck there for the rest of his life.
What another funny coincidence that is.
Funny little coincidence.
Yes, would have never guessed that. No, yeah, I think we were just having like a little bit of fun there with that. But luckily those bosses were funded like before we even knew it. Those extra levels. We were really nervous because for money reasons, we couldn't come out of the gate and have 8 stages, and so we were we really tried to be open and clear about why that was and what that meant and everything like that. But we were nervous, that people would really need to have the 8. But, like I said, with everything else, everyone was so supportive. And so right from the start, boom, they just got us there.
Now here we are 15 days later with just 30,000 or so to go before we hit current gen consoles.
So exciting. Yes.
At the time of this podcast. Okay, but Mark, seriously, can you elaborate on this?
Oh, well, I mean, that's all there is, really. It's just basically, we were having fun there a little bit, of course. I mean, we know you guys and your campaign and everything like that, so...
yeah, we all got a kick out of it.
Yeah, we appreciate the shout-out.
Cool, yeah, and that's all it is. You know, we've been trying to get across in this campaign as well, like, there's no bad guys in this campaign, right? There's no... Our success is not taking a dig or a slight at anyone else, and so that's part of the reason why we're so happy when people are keeping it positive and not being like, oh yeah, you know, the fact that Mighty Number 9 is doing well means that, you know, that this other series dropped the ball or anything like that. Like, we want what everybody else wants, which is to kind of just move forward and kind of do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of the whole idea with Mighty Number 9 is kind of try to stay positive, stay focused, like look towards the future, do what we can do about it, rather than kind of like lamenting the past. But I think that's something cool, that really cool message of your guys too, and kind of has been, is it would be really easy to be in your shoes and have your message and be really negative, right, and pessimistic and kind of down all the time and just kind of cursing people, but you guys are not like that, which is something that really struck me from the very beginning of when I started looking at your page. It's like, it's a positive movement. You know, you guys have taken something and really managed to keep it as this positive, optimistic, cool thing. And I think as much as people sometimes want to just kind of curse and, you know, kick and scream and whatever, long term, that's what's really going to serve your community best, is having this positive message.
Well, you know, Legends 3's cancellation didn't just bring a lot of rage, it brought the community together. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been waiting for this game for so long, and we didn't want to quit on it, and we knew that, you know, just raging over it wouldn't do any good. You wouldn't get the Capcom reps to change their minds.
I think a big part of it is that, like, when it first got canceled and everyone started saying how angry and frustrated they were with it, they looked around and they're like, whoa, look at all these other people that played this game I've had as a kid. And suddenly we just, for me in particular, it's like we sort of discovered that there was this huge number of people out there with this with the same passion for the series that you'd almost given up on until like a year before.
You know, isn't that great? And I think that's, I mean, for a week or something, you can get all of the kind of rage mongers, and not that people don't have a reason to hate all the kind of different things that people hate on the internet, and people have reasons to be upset about them, but like that stuff comes and goes in like a week, right? And then those people move on to other things. But when you have an ultimately like positive message and something you're building towards, and you're constructing something instead of like destroying or deconstructing it, you know, not to get all totally new agey here or whatever, but that's the stuff that people want to keep coming back to, you know what I mean? That's what people don't want to just look at the page again and again every week just to see rage and people being angry and disappointed. You know, people want to come and contribute to something that's going to be, you know, bigger than themselves and positive and whatever. And that's, you know, I think we've really been seeing that with Mighty Number 9 as well, which has been super, super gratifying, but is absolutely something I see about your guys' community. So I just wanted to say how much we appreciate that too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Something Inafune said in his Kickstarter as well is that he feels that the Mega Man fan base is like this great fan base filled with just happy, encouraging, and creative people, especially creative.
It's amazing.
And just all the creativity that pours out of the fans, it really makes our job a lot easier. Like, we always have, like, we may not always have good news in terms of how things are going with Capcom getting Legends 3 revived, but we can always say, hey, look at this cool model someone made, or look at this fan game someone's working on, or these fan art, or this Tumblr, all sorts of fun stuff.
And
now
amazing,
Mighty Number 9 gets to share in it.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly what you're saying. I mean, from the night that we announced, I mean, none of us were ready for it. The fan art coming out, and the volume, and the quality, and the YouTube, and the songs, and everything, I mean, it's just been exactly as you say. Like, not only does it make my job easier in terms of, you know, being able to send stuff out to the community, because the community's making it itself, but it makes my job more fun. You know, it makes me get up at 1 o'clock in the morning Japan time to post updates and stuff like that. I mean, I jump out of bed because it's like I can go on and I get to share this stuff and see what the community reaction is going to be, talk to people, and not be worried, even if people don't like it or they have kind of constructive criticism, that I don't have to worry that, I'm going to be, getting yelled at for like 3 hours. It's like, I'm going to go and like talk to my friends and see what my friends all think about this big, supportive, positive community, thinks about the latest announcement we had, or thinks about this art, or that sort of thing. Like, and that's been the case for all of us, especially here at 8.4, during the Kickstarter, you just kind of have to work crazy hours, but especially when the Kickstarter is happening on America time in general. It's happening 24 hours a day in countries all over the world, but the biggest fan base is in that time zone, and so we have to be up for that time zone partially, and then we're also up, during the day in order to work with the team and stuff in the Japanese time zone. But so all of us here have been working crazy hours and doing, podcasts and editing and art stuff and the updates and this and that, but it's made it so much easier. The support from the fans is really something that just constantly buoys us, and we're always trading links, always sending each other's to your guys' page to a whole bunch of pages.
Yeah, we appreciate
that. And the team,
that.
It's the team too. The team is just totally energized. Anytime we talk to them, they're like, "Hey, did you see this? Did you see that?" We're sending them links and stuff like that. So
cool.
All that stuff is getting back to the highest levels of this Kickstarter, and it's definitely appreciated at every level. So yeah, thank you guys again, and all your listeners too.
That's totally great to hear. Okay, but anyway, let's move on to the next question here. We're running out of time, I think, for you, Mark.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's no problem. People have schedules. Okay, but next question. Okay, obviously, you guys are handling the localization for the game too, right?
Actually, that's not 100% confirmed. Yeah, we have a line in there. We want to 8.4, and we are actually... We started working with the team on some things like the name for the Mighty Number robots and stuff like that, which we haven't announced yet, and I'm not sure will happen during the Kickstarter campaign, but we kind of did that just because we wanted to, and we thought that they might end up getting announced during the Kickstarter campaign. We weren't sure, but that's not 100% confirmed. It's going to depend on some things like in terms of budget and schedule and stuff like that, but I can say we absolutely want to, so hopefully we will, and we do have a little experience with some real basic naming things so far, so maybe I can answer the question still.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and ask it then. Alright, obviously this game is still in its conceptual stages right now, and, who knows how large it'll be by the time it's complete. But if you guys were to make a guess, how long do you think the localization process for this project will take? Do you suspect that Japan will get the game first?
No, I would think that it would... I mean, the timing for the Kickstarter launch is in Japanese and English. So if it were to launch in Japanese first, I don't think it would, though. That's something that I say, again, as you mentioned, as not a member of the team, but I believe that the current plan is for it to launch at the same time in both languages. The localization process, too, I don't know how deep the story is going to be in terms of cutscenes and that sort of thing. Other people have asked, are there going to be voices, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, we don't really know, but yeah, I would say that there's nothing that would be keeping it from being a simultaneous launch, Japan and America.
Well, we wish you luck, and we would love to see you guys working on the localization. I mean, from what I've seen on your website, you've had a hand in localizing some of my favorite games, Fire Emblem Awakening, Wild Arms Crossfire, all sorts of great stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, we really hope so, too. Like, we definitely want to be involved. You know, as we said on the page right now, our involvement is just through the Kickstarter. It was for the 4 months leading up to it and through the Kickstarter, but I mean, it's been such a great experience. We're talking with Concept now about, you know, if it's possible, if it makes sense for us to stay on kind of doing the stuff we've been doing, and then also the localization, because I mean, how much fun would that be, you know, getting to name the bosses? Come on, like that's right, like, you know, so we couldn't help ourselves. We've already started talking about that, and we have some cool kind of parts of naming decided that I think people would really like, that I don't know when or if we're going to be able to announce, but I think we'll end up making it into the final game. So no matter what, like, we'll have a little bit of an effect. But hopefully, thank you for saying that about 8.4 to Nathan. But hopefully we'll be on for the long haul too.
Great. I think we might as well wrap this up then.
Cool, yeah, and thanks, guys. And sorry I gotta go. I'm actually prepping the full update for Monday.
Cool.
People probably maybe seen it by now when they hear this, but yeah, Mighty number 3, our first female boss.
Yeah.
We had a feeling about
I
that.
caught that.
Confirmed. Yes.
I caught that her in your post.
You did? I was wondering if I should bold that or something.
Yeah, enough people caught it. I assure you.
You'd pick up on it anyway. Anyway, personal favorite boss design. And I say that before we reveal all the bosses, but this one I feel like is really special. And John just finished doing the write-up and did a really cool job. We got even more kind of behind-the-scenes comments on her design evolution. But so anyway, I'm just wrapping that one up so we can post it on Monday U.S. time. But as this thing goes forward, like I said, like you guys are a key piece of this puzzle. You guys in the 100K community.
Thank you.
It's totally not lost on us in the team, the fact that you guys have embraced this project. We totally didn't take that for granted. We were, hoping, dreaming that you guys would, and try to do what we can to make it happen. But the fact you guys have been so supportive has meant so much. So it's totally not lost on us. We want to do more stuff with you guys, like the puzzle we did this past weekend, going forward, and stuff like this podcast. Like, I would love to be back on this, especially, after the campaign craziness has settled down.
Okay, we'll hold you to that.
Sure, we'd love to have you.
Cool.
And looking forward to the post about Mighty number 3 tomorrow.
Cool, yeah, definitely let us know what you guys think.
And by the time this podcast is released, it'll probably already be there on the page. But, yeah, I guess that's about it. Thanks, Mark, again, for coming on today. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Beck salute to all you guys at the Mighty number 9 project.
Beck salute right back at you. Thank you guys, and to all your listeners. Thank you guys so much. We have like 2 weeks left. I think we're going to hit this console goals really soon.
Yeah.
Super, super exciting, but I cannot thank everyone enough for all their help so far, and all the help that they can give right up to the end of the campaign, just to see how far we can take this. I think co-op with Call is a really big thing that we're excited about, because the community is excited about it, and then next gen after that, and then who knows? I mean, there's definitely, we have more ideas past that, but
sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. Skybane's the limit. Past that.
Dur.
All right, okay, I think that about covers the podcast.
Remember, guys, if you have any questions, news, tips, or ideas, feel free to send us a message on our page, which is Facebook.com/GetMeOffTheMoon. And don't forget to join the Capcom Unity Devroom and sign the official petition there to help bring back Mega Man Legends 3. Also, don't forget to support Mighty number 9 with whatever cash you have available, even if it's $1 or so. Every bit counts.
No, yeah, absolutely. Even if it's just tweeting it or doing stuff on Facebook or whatever, like that stuff, everything counts. So super, super appreciate it.
Yeah. If you don't have the money, use your voice.
Exactly.
Okay, then. Until next time, guys.
Legends never die.
Keep fighting the good fight.